Hi, this is Jithesh Sathyan. WhatsApp number +91 9656611 829. Today's talk is a brief overview on the different houses and how it relates to the relatives of the person asking the query. It's mostly a continuation of what we discussed in the last talk. So the first house corresponds to the person itself who is making the query, who is asking the query. The second house relates to the community or the family circle as a whole. The third house corresponds to the brother or sister. The fourth house corresponds to the mother. The fifth house corresponds to child or children. The sixth house corresponds to uncle. The seventh house corresponds to spouse or life partner. The eighth house corresponds to enemy. The ninth house corresponds to father. The 10th house corresponds to the colleague at work. And the 11th house corresponds to friends. And the 12th house corresponds to secret enemy. So the various applications of this, like what we discussed in the last talk in terms of how to find the Aruda Lakna based on this approach. If the Aruda Lakna for the first house corresponds to the person itself, so the Lakna at that specific time is also taken as Aruda Lakna, and if it is relating to the mother of the person asking the query, the person is asking like my mother is not recovering from an illness, could you find out the reason for it? So that's would be based on the fourth house. So that's one application. Other applications is again the fourth house, which corresponds to mother. So if somebody asks a query in terms of I'm having issues, and you find a lot of Paba Grahas on, or a lot of Pabas in the fourth house corresponding to the mother. So and you see that Guru is also placed in a position which shows anger of the Dharma Devata. So then you can actually safely conclude that this relates to a problem with the Dharma Devata. And again, if it is something relating to Paradevata, then you would look at the ninth house, which corresponds to the father. And even in queries, if the 12th house, which we said is a secret enemy, happens to be Aquarius, which is also called the Niguda Rashi, then it's a strong signal of presence of a secret enemy. So that's how we kind of apply this information in terms of the house, as well as how it relates to the person asking the query on a practical scenario. Thanks for listening.